of October 2025. Let me paste the meeting agenda into chat. There we go. I can delete this. Is there anyone who is new this week and would like to take the opportunity to introduce themselves? You're welcome to pipe up. I'll take that as a no. All right, we're going to check in with our schedule. We are, I think, 3 weeks away, spoiler alert, from our code freeze. Is that right? Ba-bum. The 29th of October, which is, yeah, 3 weeks. Gosh, that comes fast. And as I understand it, our GA date has not changed. It's still the 19th of November, 2025. Does anyone have anything to add regarding our schedule while I shift tabs? I'm not going to go to the community events wiki because I've added the interesting stuff here anyway. KubeCon EU CFP closes this Sunday. I've linked to the same thing. That's not useful. Although it does have well, let's click on it. It does have the information here. So I sent an email yesterday. Hopefully other people were aware amongst my PDO. I totally missed that this was due before KubeCon North America. Normally it's due afterwards. So apologies if anyone's relying on me to let them know when the KubeCon CFP dates are closing. If you have any ideas or you have proposals that you're unsure about, you are welcome to ping me, and I will do my best to give it a read and a review before the submission is due this Sunday. So that'll be closing at 11:59 p.m. EMEA time, which is what, UTC +2 at the moment. Also, the FOSDEM, also on the subject of KubeCon EU. Now, I haven't heard final, but we did apply for an in-person event. It's not a co-located event like you might see like ArgoCon or anything like that. It's a new program that they're running, which will be, I think it's 2 hours or 3 hours in KubeCon. And it'll be a KubeVirt Summit-ish event, whether or not we call it KubeVirt Summit or something like that. If I remember correctly, we'll be running the talks. And so hopefully when we get word that that is going ahead, you'll see me putting out words about that. But just to let you know, if you were ahhing and thinking about going to KubeCon EU, it's all just disappeared. And weren't too sure about it. I think this will be a really good one to attend because of that and other reasons. Oh, right. Thank you, Stu. If you've got any questions, just pipe up. I'm not precious. Sorry.
While we are on the KubeCon topic, do we have folks attending the KubeCon NA?
Good question. Now, you and Ryan will both be there, right?
Yes, we plan to be.
I believe Cheryl will be there. Vladik is attending. Alan, are you still thinking of attending? Or no, you'll be attending?
Probably not unless someone other than my company pays for my flights and stuff, so probably not.
Okay. Do you know about Larry?
Larry has since left AMD, so I would put that in the no.
Put that in the no. I see. All right. Well, so that's the forum I'm aware of. Who else? Oh, Idamar. think Inamar will be there as well.
Okay, thanks.
And doesn't mean he will not be there. True. We do have a booth. Thank you for reminding me. I need to send out a thing about that so people can claim booth time. Okay, moving on. So FOSDEM dates have been announced. It's next year, January 31st to the 1st of February. The dev rooms and the stand submissions are open, so there's no CFPs yet. It's the infrastructure layer. I think it's got another couple of weeks to run. I just added it here so it's on people's radar, and also just get an idea of who's thinking of attending. Last year, or this year, we joined the CNCF stand and we're a part of that. If they're thinking of doing that, we could join that again, or in the past, we've talked about joining another project and having our own stand, but that isn't viable unless we've got, a sufficient number of people there to help out. So yeah, if you're thinking of attending, pipe up or let me know through other channels. Also from me, you will have seen that the version 1.8 unconference will be running on Tuesday, November 4th. Not a huge amount of wiggle room with the dates this year due to KubeCon and there's only 2 weeks between Code Freeze and GA, and we obviously don't want to run the conference during those weeks. So hopefully that is an acceptable date. We could move it to Wednesday, since we normally have some meetings then anyway, we just consume them. But we normally run it on Tuesday, so why mess with tradition, was my thinking. The link here will go to the mailing list thread that I started. I've cleaned up the doc. It's the same links as last time. New Zoom links though, but it's still the HedgeDoc instance, and I heartily encourage you to add your topics now, so it's not all just done while we've got the session open, because there's not a huge amount of time to run the voting and welcome and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that came up during the VEP retrospective that we ran a couple of weeks ago was people weren't perhaps aware that they could use the unconference as a way of talking about their VEP ahead of the deadline. So if you've got something that is half-baked or fully baked or par-baked, then that's a really good time to come, put it on the agenda, and then you can get instant feedback for that ahead of the deadline. And KubeVirt Summit is next week on October 16th. That's next week, right? Yes, next Thursday. I think it's 1 until 4 UTC off the top of my head. The schedule is there, and it's also the registration. Hopefully everyone will be there. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. Does anyone else have anything else they would like to bring up before we move along? Right on.
I had a quick question about the CI. I'm probably not the right meeting for this, but I'm going to ask anyways. Does the CI for kind end-to-end testing deploy VMs, or are they just actual Docker images?
The kind providers, they're just they're container images. They're not VM based.
Okay, all right, thank you.
been like that the whole meeting? Or has it just started doing it? Only sometimes. What if I talk like this? I might have spelled T in it. Is that possible? Is that better?
Yeah, that's
okay. All right, I will continue the meeting like this. And yeah, just throw into chat if I'm talking too loud because I'm not used to holding the mic so close. Yes, this PR, introducing SIG architecture. This is something we talked about. I think it's been discussed for a while, but it came up the last I heard in the VetBret perspective about splitting up parts of SIG compute. Yeah, a lot of people have had have added feedback, which is why I said it doesn't need attention, but it's a good FYI. I hadn't seen this, so I don't know who else hasn't seen it. But if you have opinions, thoughts, or you're just mildly curious, considering this does impact the project as a whole, it is here and almost certainly worth a read. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. No one's added anything else. You can also follow us on Blue Sky there. Cool. All right. Well, does anyone have anything they'd like to add at the end? Any questions or comments or anything else? Otherwise, we'll wrap up.
Hey, Andrew, I'd like to add some questions about the first testing PRs that just closed. Do we have the person raising that PR in the meeting? I would like to understand the intention behind adding those controller first testing.
Sure. They're not in the meeting. So if I remember correctly, and this is going back a bit, they've been open for a while. So this is someone that was contacted by or a part of the CNCF. It's part of a CNCF initiative to add a bunch of these tests to CNCF projects. There are 4 in total. What I can do is add all 4 of them. I'll put it in the open floor. I think that there is a, well, I know there's a Slack group where we were talking about this. I just can't remember if it's on the CNCF or the Kubernetes workspace. So those are the 4.
So just for context, it looks to me like these tests, they are just generating a VM or whatever structure you have in a fuzzy way and then executing the controller. We would anyway have a controller test that covers that in our end-to-end test suite. So at least on the surface, I don't see why this would add additional value unless it is strictly just a requirement for a project to be through CNCF. So if that's the case, it's okay. But if that is not the case, then I think we can close out those PRs.
Fair enough. I know that I'm pretty sure it's the first 2 that we've got here. The 2 that are open. I do know that I think Igor had some feedback on them. Maybe Felix as well. I don't know if that's exactly as to on the 2 on the back, the 8.4 and 9.9. If that's your read on them, can you please leave that as a comment?
Yeah, I will.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Can you please leave that as a comment? And just to be sure, because yeah, I'm happy with that assessment. And if we're accepting it to tick boxes, then that's less good than it already been covered. But if it's a requirement, then yeah. Cool. Thank you very much. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add before we finish up today? And go and buy a microphone. Alrighty. We'll leave it there then. Thank you everyone for joining us. Quick shout out to Daniel and Brian. Thank you very much for moderating this meeting the last 2 weeks while I was out. Very much appreciated. And actually, if anyone ever feels the need or desire to moderate this meeting, you are more than welcome. All you need to do is ping me. I'll gladly step aside. But for now, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for everything you do in the community. Pleasure to see you all, and hope you all have a lovely rest of the day and a wonderful weekend. See you later.
Yeah.